Hi everybody, welcome to today's video as part of the Grounded and Graceful Teacher Training. The subject of today's lecture is the sacred pause. The sacred pause. The word in Sanskrit is Kumbhaka. So, in yoga, initially, we are introduced to the theme of the sacred pause as the pause in between the inhale and the exhale. So when the inhale ends, pause, and the exhale begins, and vice versa. But there are many other different elements to the sacred pause, and I'd like to start this lecture by going back to the time when I was first introduced to the sacred pause, or should I say when I remember being introduced to the sacred pause, when I was ready to hear the lesson. So, the sacred pause, I was watching a Vedanta lecture, as I do most evenings. I'll just put something really inspirational on. We often do that, or sometimes do that during the teacher training. After dinner, we put on an inspirational video from a Swami or a leader in the spiritual fields. Anyway, on this particular evening, I was watching a Vedanta lecture. Vedanta is a Hindu philosophy based on the Vedas, and it means to be the truth and knowledge. So I was listening to my favorite Swami, and I'll link him below and you can check it out. And he was talking about how before something comes out of your mouth, you have this sacred moment, this sacred pause between what has happened, what thoughts are running through your mind, and what you're going to put out into the world. This really resonated with me, because have you ever been in one of those situations where you sit there after a meeting with friends or colleagues and you're like, oh my goodness, what did I say? Why did I say that? That's not what I wanted to say, or etc. And so I started using this sacred pause. So I'd have a minute just to collect myself, and I started finding that I was coming across a little bit more grounded because I was taking the time to process my thoughts before I spoke. And then when I was in Madrid this new year, actually, someone said to me, Kat, when I ask you a question, you look like you're scanning your mind to think of like the most positive thing to say, even if it's not the truth. And I thought, I think she's trying to say that I'm being inauthentic. However, if I'm using this sacred pause to find the most pleasant, grounded, nice way to put out words into the world, then that's coming from my authentic truth also. So I just offer that to you, having this sacred pause between your thoughts and your words. It's not a means of contriving and controlling everything you say, but we all know that what we put out into the world doesn't just affect us, it affects the people we say it to, it affects the people we're maybe talking about. So it's a really big thing. Words are very powerful, and if you can have the time to just have that pause, then it can be really beneficial. So that's one way that we can use the sacred pause. Another way we can use the sacred pause is in between our actions. So that can go for many different things. So it could be you have so many things to do, you're very busy that day, and you build in sacred pauses throughout the day. For example, everybody knows I love yoga nidra in the day. If I don't do yoga nidra for maybe a few days because I'm super busy, like on the teacher training, I lost my yoga nidra practice for 90% of the time, and I feel like a real big depletion enter. Yoga nidra is the perfect way to do the sacred pause. It's just like throwing yourself on the earth for 10 minutes. We want to resonate with the earth. The earth's frequency is a high frequency, and it grounds us and enables us to connect with the universe and nature. So 10 minutes in your day to throw yourself on the earth, sacred pause, put on your favorite yoga nidra and let your busy mind just go to the cosmos. Let your tensions go to the earth and have that time to sacred pause. I can assure you that when you go back to your routine, then you will go with something a lot more special. Okay, so that's in between thoughts and actions. Now let's go to the yogi's way of looking at it. So if you look in the Yoga Sutras and if you look in your teacher training manual, you'll see that the breath, the pranayama, is split into 4 sections. So it's essentially the inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause. Why is there such an emphasis on this pause? In fact, some people say that pranayama is not actually the inhale and the exhale. That's like the preparation for pranayama, that the real pranayama is the pause. So why would that be? So in that pause, where you're not inhaling and you're not exhaling, there's a nothingness. There's a gateway to emptiness. Your mind can't think when you're not inhaling, when you're not exhaling. There's a space. And it's said that in that space, you can really touch the depths of not only your soul, but, universal consciousness too. So try it out for yourself. Why not try, we'll do it at the end of this class actually, but why not try really focusing in on that pause in between your inhale and in between your exhale. Okay, so also, during our asana practice, sometimes we're moving so quickly we don't even feel the asana. We're just in, out, in, out. But can you feel the benefit when you have that pause, that time in your asana, when you can think, how am I aligning the energetic lines of my body? How am I breathing? Like, can you feel that that is a different level of yoga? If we're just doing the poses, not following any rules, like not doing any fundamentals, just whipping in and out, it's just doing poses with Sanskrit names, and it's not really getting into the meat of the yoga. The yoga is about that pause, about that awareness, about that moment. When I went to India, it was the time when I really got the greatest taste of yoga. And I don't like to be cliche and say, in India, but it was. So I'm just being honest there. And in the class, the teacher would just call out, inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And that was about it. There was no real alignment cues. That's just the way that they go. It's the Krishnamacharya school, and it's all about the breath. It's all about the breath and the movement and the prana moving through your body and your mind and your soul. And I remember, and throughout the class, so when you'd done the standing sequence and then she'd lay you down to do, I think it was abdominal and inversions before back bends, but I'd have to check, there would be a pause. Now, just imagine, she lays you down, nothing. There's no music, there's no incense, you're not allowed to use any props. There's nothing. She just says, silence. And I literally felt like I just fell asleep for eternity. I remember her calling me back and I was like, where have I been? Where have I been? And that was the sacred pause. Yeah, I don't know. I can't put into words what benefit that had. I don't know. I just don't know. But I just felt like I had an experience. I felt like I had an experience of yoga. Real deep yoga. I don't know where I went. I don't know why it felt like forever. And at the same time felt like nothing. It was just beautiful, magic, amazing. So I really invite you to play around with that sacred pause and see how it can come into your own practice, and if you can also integrate it not only into your asana but into your life as well. So for your homework, I would like you to have a look in any of the yoga books. So I'll give you a few to start. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, any of the Iyengar books, any of the Krishnamacharya books. I know that on your course reading list, The Heart of Yoga was on there. And I would like you to tell me what you found in one or more of those books about the sacred pause, about the Kumbhaka. And then I would like you to go away and practice on your own, self-practice with the sacred pause. Then from there, I would like you to film me a 5-minute video. It doesn't matter if it's 2 or 3 minutes of you practicing. You cue the posture and then show me your sacred pause. So for example, you might do Trikonasana. You'll cue yourself into the pose. And then there'll be the pause. After that, you would sit down and tell me how the sacred pause felt, along with how you feel you can use this sacred pause best in your life. Okay, yogis, let's do the practice of breath, and then you can get cracking with your own experiments. Because this is what it is all really. It's all just really an experiment where both the scientists and the lab rats. Okay, so find a comfortable seat, straight spine, open chest, chin slightly tucked so the back of the neck is long. Close your eyes. Relaxing the body from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. And knowing that this is your sacred pause. And a sacred pause helps you to realign yourself constantly with your greatest health, your greatest truth, your greatest creativity, your greatest self. All from a sacred pause that allows us to reconnect with who we truly are. That allows us to remember we are not this busy mind that is dragging us in a million different directions, judging, desiring, resenting, wanting, all those things. But we are, in fact, divinity. Please take a big inhale with your nose and fill your chest with prana, with life force. Pause. And now exhale with your mouth as if you're blowing out of a straw. Pause. Inhale with your nose. Fill your heart with prana. Pause. Exhale with your mouth. One more. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Relax. Feel into the spaciousness of this sacred pause. Contemplating how our greatness of character can come from stillness, from silence, from space. Bring your hands into prayer. Gently opening the eyes. Be well, yogis. Be well. Send me your homework. Enjoy exploring this sacred pause. And remember, sometimes you don't have to do anything except let go. Sending you all my love. Goodbye.